Hello students, welcome to Chemistry channel. I am Mrs. Anjali Nadgowda, KLS Gogte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belagavi. This is video number 5, that is last video of unit number 10, that is the S block elements. In fourth video, we have seen the general characteristics of In last video, we have seen the physical and chemical properties of group 2 elements. Now, we will see the general characteristics of alkaline earth metals, compounds of alkaline earth metals. These are the similar points as which we have seen with alkali metals. Okay. So, alkaline earth metals form the compounds which are predominantly ionic but less ionic than the corresponding compounds of alkali metals. Means they are forming maximum ionic compounds, but when we compare the capacity of ionic compounds with alkali metals, they are less ionic. Okay. Now again, what is the reason? Due to increased nuclear charge and small size compared with alkali metals. Okay. How are the oxides of alkaline earth metals? Alkaline earth metals mainly gives monoxides, which we have already seen with reaction with air. Okay, and they are having rock salt structure except beryllium oxide. So here you will come to know some anomalous properties of beryllium also, which already you will analyze in reactions, various reactions. Is it? Okay. The enthalpies of formation of these oxides are quite high. Enthalpies means the energy change for formation of these oxides are quite high and therefore they are very stable to heat. Okay. Beryllium oxide is covalent in nature while oxides of other elements are ionic in nature. Okay. All these oxides are basic in nature because when they react with water, they form alkalis, respective alkalis. But these alkalis are sparingly soluble hydroxides. Exception again, beryllium oxide, which is amphoteric in nature, means which shows the reaction with acids as well as alkalis. Okay. How are the hydroxides? Hydroxides are of the type MOH twice. Okay. These oxides are easily hydrolyzed by water, means they are easily dissolved in water to form respective alkalis. The solubility, the thermal stability and the basic character of these hydroxides increases with increasing atomic number from magnesium hydroxide to barium hydroxide. See, again one exception, that is beryllium hydroxide, BeOH twice. Okay. Hydroxides of alkaline earth metals are less basic and less stable than the alkali metal hydroxide. So, we are studying simultaneous comparison in the respective group as well as with group 1 elements. So, when we compare with group 1 elements hydroxides, these hydroxides, that is group 2 hydroxides, are less basic, less alkaline and less stable also. Okay. BeOH twice is amphoteric in nature. As we have seen, BeO, beryllium oxide, is amphoteric, like BeOH twice is also amphoteric in nature as it reacts with acid and alkali both. Okay. So here the reactions are shown. First one is beryllium hydroxide reacts with OH minus, means it is alkali. Let it be NaOH or KOH. Okay. So it forms the complex compound which we call it as berylate ion. So here beryllium is attached with 4 hydroxyl groups. Okay. Whereas beryllium hydroxide, when it reacts with HCl, now water molecule is there, means what? Aqueous solution of hydrochloric acid. It forms again the complex compound, that is BeOH4Cl2. Okay. This shows it reacts with both acid and alkali, that is amphoteric nature. Okay. Let us see the characteristics of halides. All the halides of alkaline earth metals are ionic in nature. Again, the exception is beryllium halide. That is, it may be beryllium chloride or beryllium fluoride. Okay. Beryllium halides are essentially covalent and soluble in organic solvents, whereas ionic halides, they are soluble in water. Okay. Beryllium chloride exists as dimer in solid state. Dimer means having the chain of two. Di means two, mer means chain. So it is in the form of bridged structure. For example, it is like this. One beryllium is attached to this Cl, and again it is attached to beryllium. So this is how the chain is formed. Okay, again we can show here one Cl, here one Cl. This is how the chain structure is formed, which is shown in textbook. So you can refer the textbook for this structure. Okay, yes. In vapor phase, beryllium chloride tends to form a chloro-bridged dimer which dissociates into the linear monomer. Means it forms BeCl2. The chain get break at high temperature at 1200 Kelvin. Okay. Means in solid form it exists as dimer, whereas in vapor phase it gets converted into monomer. Tendency to form halide hydrates gradually decreases down the group. Halide hydrates means what? To absorb the moisture, just like how we have seen MgCl2 or LiCl2 like this, point H2O. Okay. Now, how the salts of oxoacids? Again, alkaline earth metals also form salts of oxoacids. It may be in the form of carbonates, sulfates, or even in nitrates. Now, what is meant by oxoacids? That already we have learned in group 1 elements. Okay, so let us see the characteristics of carbonates. These carbonates are insoluble in water and can be precipitated by addition of sodium metal or else ammonium carbonate solution to a solution of soluble salt of these metals. Okay, so by addition of sodium and ammonia or ammonium carbonate, we can have the carbonates. Okay, the solubility of carbonates in water decreases as the atomic number of metal ion increases. Means from beryllium to barium, the solubility of carbonates decreases. Okay, all the carbonates decompose on heating to give carbon dioxide and oxide. So respective oxides are formed when the carbonates are heated. Beryllium carbonate is unstable and can be kept only in the atmosphere of carbon dioxide. To a stable beryllium carbonate, it should be kept in inert atmosphere of carbon dioxide. Okay. Thermal stability increases with increasing cationic size. As the ionic size increases down the group, the stability of carbonates increases. Solubility decreases, but the thermal stability increases. Okay. How are the sulfates? For example, MgSO4 or BaSO4 or BeSO4 or BaSO4 or CaSO4. How these sulfates are? These are all white solids and stable to heat. Means they do not get decomposed very easily. Okay. BaSO4 and MgSO4 are readily soluble in water, but the solubility decreases from CaSO4 to BaSO4. From CaSO4, then SrSO4, that is strontium sulfate, calcium sulfate, strontium sulfate, and barium sulfate. These are sparingly soluble in water, though they are crystalline in nature, but still they are sparingly soluble in nature. means partly they dissolve in water. Okay. The greater hydration enthalpies of beryllium and magnesium ions overcome the lattice enthalpy factor, and therefore their sulfates are soluble in water. Means what? Hydration enthalpies means capacity to absorb moisture is very high compared to the which overcome the lattice enthalpy factor, means energy required to break the crystal structure. Okay. So hydration enthalpy is more, hydration energy is more compared to the lattice enthalpy factor, and therefore these sulfates are more soluble in water. Okay. Nitrates. Nitrates are made by dissolution of carbonates in dilute HNO3. Means, for example, if we take MgCO3 and when we dissolve that in dilute HNO3, it forms the respective nitrates. Magnesium nitrate. Okay. Magnesium nitrate crystallizes with 6 molecules of water, that is hydrated. Again, means it absorbs the moisture or it absorbs the water molecule and easily get hydrated. Whereas barium nitrate crystallizes as anhydrous salt. This is again an exception of barium nitrate BaNO3 twice crystallizes as anhydrous salt. Okay. All the nitrates decompose on heating to give oxide, corresponding oxide like lithium nitrate. Okay. So, how lithium nitrate, we have seen the reaction LiNO3 twice gives Li2O plus NO2, like that. These group 2 elements, nitrates, respective nitrates, gives oxide and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen after heating or on heating. Okay. Now let us see the important part of this this group 2 elements, that is anomalous properties of beryllium. Beryllium comes in second period, that is the first element of group 2, and therefore it shows anomalous properties. Now reasons are common as that of lithium, that is exceptionally small size of its atom and ion, that is atomic and ionic size is very small. High ionization enthalpy, that is energy required to remove the electron is very high, and absence of d orbital, means there are no d orbital to expand or to accommodate the unpaired electrons. Okay. Now what are the points of difference? Means how the beryllium is showing the different characteristics, different properties than the remaining alkaline earth metals. First one, it is having very small size, maybe it is atomic size or ionic size, and therefore it does not compare well with other members of the group. Okay. Because of high ionization enthalpy and small size, it forms the compound which are largely covalent and get easily hydrolyzed, means easily get dissolved in water. Whereas other alkaline earth metals, they are ionic in nature. Okay. Beryllium does not exhibit coordination number more than 4, means it cannot form the more than 4 bonds because of absence of d orbital. Oxides and hydroxides of beryllium are amphoteric in nature. This is already we have learnt in previous slide. Diagonal relationship. So again beryllium shows the similarity with aluminium. See, beryllium comes in second group, whereas aluminium comes in group 13 elements. Okay, so first element of one group shows the similarity with the second element of the next successive group. Actually the next successive group is third group, but there are no elements in group in period number 2. and these group 3 to group 12, these are all D block elements. So beryllium shows the similarity with aluminium, that is with P block elements. Again, the reasons are due to similar ionic sizes, means beryllium and aluminium are having similar ionic sizes, whereas similar charge to size ratio or charge to radius ratio. Now, which are the points of similarities? First one, both the elements, that is beryllium and aluminum, are not readily attacked by acid because of the presence of protective layer on their surface. Means there is no any action of acid on the surface of beryllium and aluminum since it forms the protective layer. Okay. Hydroxides of these elements dissolve in excess of alkali to give berylate ion and aluminate ion. So both are forming complex hydroxides or complex compounds. The chlorides of both beryllium and aluminum have Cl bridged chloride structure. Means chloride minus bridged chloride structure. Okay, that already we have seen in vapor phase. Both the chlorides are soluble in organic solvents and they are strong Lewis acids. Lewis acids means the substances which are easily accepts the pair of electrons, and therefore they are used in Friedel-Crafts catalyst. Friedel-Crafts reactions as catalyst. AlCl3 especially and BeCl2, they are used as Friedel-Crafts catalyst in alkylation and acylation reaction that you will learn in organic chemistry. Okay. Beryllium and aluminum ions have strong tendency to form the complexes like BeF4 or AlF6. Okay, so these are the similar points in beryllium and aluminum, and here the diagonal relationship is completed. Now the next important part, that is important compounds of calcium. As calcium is highly important in view of industrial important compounds, many compounds of calcium we are using in our day to day life also. For example, cement or plaster of Paris, is it? So here we are going to study the two compounds which are industrially important. First one is calcium hydroxide, which is called as slaked lime. See, the compounds of calcium are generally named as a lime. So the name of this is slaked lime and the formula or chemical composition is CaOH twice. OH twice, that is calcium hydroxide. How it is prepared? By addition of water to quicklime. Now what is meant by quicklime is calcium oxide. So calcium oxide, when treated with water, it forms calcium hydroxide. In Marathi we call it as चुन्याची निवळी. Okay. Again, the physical properties of this calcium hydroxide, it is white amorphous powder. See, as it is amorphous powder, obviously it will not get completely dissolved in water. Means sparingly soluble in water, that is partly soluble in water. Means some part of calcium hydroxide is dissolved in water and some part remains as it is, which settles at the bottom. So the part which get dissolved in water, that aqueous solution of calcium hydroxide, we call it as lime water, whereas suspension means the part which remains or settles at the bottom is called as milk of lime. Okay. Now, what are the chemical properties of this slaked lime? First one, when calcium hydroxide, that is slaked lime, is passed through lime water, it turns, carbon dioxide gas, when it is passed through this lime water, it turns milky. as we have seen already that calcium hydroxide or slaked does not dissolve completely in water, means some part remains as aqueous form and some part remains as suspension. Okay, so when we take the aqueous solution of this slaked lime and the carbon dioxide gas is passed through this, that lime water turns milky because of formation of calcium carbonate in the it is in the form of precipitate, and this precipitate is in water, that is in aqueous form, and hence that lime water turns milky. And this reaction we use for detection of calcium in qualitative analysis, okay, as the CT of carbonate radical. Okay, if this carbon dioxide gas is pass excess, then the precipitate dissolves to form calcium hydrogen carbonate, that is calcium bicarbonate. Okay, and hence again the lime water turns to the clear water. So calcium carbonate plus H2O, this product which is formed, and the excess of carbon dioxide, it forms CaHCO3 twice, means calcium hydrogen carbonate or calcium bicarbonate, which dissolves the precipitate completely. Okay. Now the second reaction, that is milk of lime. Milk of lime means suspension of calcium hydroxide or suspension of slaked lime, reacts with chlorine to form hypochlorite, that is CaOCl2, which is the constituent or which is the part of bleaching powder, one of the constituent of the bleaching powder. So CaOH twice. Now this is in the form of suspension, remember, not dissolved completely in water. Plus when chlorine gas is passed through this, it forms CaCl2 plus CaOCl2. This together mixture is called as what? Bleaching powder plus 2H2O. Now where we use bleaching powder? For bleaching the clothes, is it especially, or even to remove the fungus in rainy season. Okay, so where this calcium hydroxide is used for the preparation of bleaching powder, as well as in qualitative analysis for detection of the radical. Okay, one more compound of calcium, that is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi calcium sulfate, calcium is Ca, sulfate is SO4, CaSO4, hemihydrate. Hemi means half, hydrate means water molecule, means half, which consists of half water molecule, which common market name is plaster of Paris. All of once if I pronounce plaster of Paris, you can easily imagine the idols made by the plaster of Paris. Is it very beautiful and very uh, smooth idols can be formed with plaster of Paris within a short time. Is it? Even it is used for joining the broken bones, that is for the treatment of fracture. Is it? Okay. How this is prepared? By heating gypsum salt at 393 Kelvin. So what is gypsum salt is? Calcium sulfate with the two water molecules. When it is heated at 393 Kelvin, it loses the water molecules and only remains half water molecule. Means some of the part of water molecule remains with calcium sulfate, and maximum water molecules get evaporate. Okay, so here if you see 2 twos are 4 water molecules are present in reactant side, whereas one water molecule remains with calcium sulfate and 3 water molecules get evaporated. Okay, that's why means half of the part remains with water, 2 into H2 means 2 water molecules, and this half part goes evaporated. Okay, Therefore, this is called as calcium sulfate hemihydrate. But if the temperature is increased above 393 Kelvin, then all the water molecules from calcium sulfate are lost, and the anhydrous or the without water molecule, the powder form is left of calcium sulfate, which we call it as dead burnt plaster. Okay, now what is the one more speciality of this plaster of Paris? When we mix it with water, it forms a paste, and this paste gets hard into solid form in 5 to 15 minutes, and therefore within a short time we can prepare the idols, or even we can use it for joining the bones. So here the topic is completed. Thank you.